It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Adventure Cave Tours. Live a day in the life of a real adventurer with Adventure Cave Tours. And the Springfield Greene County Park Board, reminding you to go play. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
And it is Friday. Happy Friday to you. We made it through the week. One day to go, and the weekend is here, so that's worth celebrating. We'll celebrate with a little news this morning.
All right. Be advised, road crews will start working tomorrow for the permanent fix to the sinkhole that opened up right there at the 60-65 interchange. Really, it's on 60, but it affects both lanes of traffic. So, at its height, it was about 35 feet long and 15 foot across. Opened up a few weeks ago, and it has been temporarily fixed, but they are going to permanently fix it for good. So be ready for some lane closures and some on and off ramp closures over the weekend. Brace yourself.
Yeah, it's we've been going a while with a Band-Aid on that sinkhole, so I guess they got to fix it for real. But man, that's going to be a pain because
better on the weekend though than on the weekdays. So
I think it might continue for a few days.
Yeah, I mean, I do too, but I'm glad that they're starting on a weekend because they'll get the majority of it done. So,
all right.
All right. It's back to the drawing board for the Springfield school districts. It is backing out of a deal to buy 20 acres of land on East Pipkin Street near Highway 65 because of concerns raised about access and trains and more. Part of the problem is that Pipkin Street is the only street that accesses that property, and a train crosses near there fairly often, causing some concern about emergency access to the school if needed. SPS had already entered into a contract to buy that land, but now they have to get out of that deal and look for a new space for the Pipkin Middle School. It's paid for by a bond issue that voters approved back in April.
And then there's this. This will everybody will remember this. But U.S. Coast Guard now has new rules for what we know as duck boats, specifically the old duck boats that are the amphibious vehicles all the way back from World War II. Right now, there are only 16 of those vessels still being used to transport tourists around different tourist areas. The new rules come 5 years after that duck boat sank on Table Rock Lake, killing 17 people. Among other things, the new rules require the removal of window coverings and canopies as a roof, which caused a lot of problems during the sinking of the duck boat. The new rules also require passengers to wear life vests, which was not a rule at the time of the tragic sinking of the duck boat on Table Rock Lake. So some changes. It took a while to get those changes, which it's been a long time, but most of the duck boats that are that old haven't really been in too much operation since the tragic accident. Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley wants to limit how much credit cards can charge people. So the interest rate on credit cards. His bill would cap the annual percentage rate of credit cards at 18% and would prevent new fees added by companies to make up for what they're losing in the percentages that they can't do, right? This comes just as credit card debt of Americans has surpassed $1 trillion for the first time in history. And that is an amount of money that most of us cannot fathom. $1 trillion.
Yeah. And I read a story recently about, I think we did it on the podcast, in fact, but credit card debt per person in America is higher than it's ever been.
Yeah. It's not good. And you get trapped with that interest rate so high. People get trapped and can never pay it off unless, it's tough. It's tough to do. State of Missouri is suing Dollar General stores. The state attorney general claims unfair and deceptive pricing from Dollar General. The AG says many items show one price on the shelf, but then you get to the cashier to ring it up, and it's a higher price that you may or may not notice. The suit is the result of an investigation by Missouri government that found nearly 100 locations had prices that did not match.
They are not the first store in trouble for this. This has happened before. So beware. I suppose I won't call them by name, but another major retailer this happened to.
Well, and most people aren't sitting there watching with eagle eyes the price of everything. I know some people do because I see them in front of me and I'm like, oh,
no, this girl does. I know what the sticker says at the shelf, and I always watch it as they ring it. If they're
Do you?
check, yeah, oh yeah,
All right.
yeah. In fact, I knew that the store that got in trouble with it a few years ago, I knew that they were going to eventually, and then they did. Not because of me, like I didn't
Did you narc?
break the case open or anything like that, but I knew that it was going to come down, and it did. So anyway, that's frustrating. Good for the AG. Go get them.
Yeah,
And
I
I have
mean, you
nothing
can't- that
against
can't-
Dollar General, but like it should be what it is. You know what
Well,
I mean?
yeah, that
People
can't-
are
That
buying
can't be
something
allowed.
again. Right. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually happened to me. Well, that's happened to me more than once recently. It rang up like way higher, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that says."
I was on the
Oh,
phone
I remember
with
where I
you.
was. I won't say where I was, but I remember where I was and what the product was, because I go there. You know what I'm talking about, probably. I go there to get it on sale,
Yeah.
and then it didn't ring up on sale. And
Correct. I
anyway.
was with you on the phone and you were like, hold on a minute. I got to find a manager. I know what you were buying. Yeah. Yes.
I didn't ask for a manager, but they did change the price for me. The lady right there at the cashier.
Yeah. It is an interesting little thing because I always check it. So anyway, beware of what you're buying. All right. 3 local organizations are vying for nearly $2 million to build shelter for the homeless in Springfield. The Women's Medical Respite, Council of Churches, and the Salvation Army are all hoping to get the nod. City leaders say the money could be divided between more than one organization, perhaps. The federal dollars come from Home ARP, ARP, which requires the money be used strictly for building, not for staffing. So the recipient or recipients will be named at the beginning of the new year. So all of those places, all 3 of those places that I mentioned have a plan in place for what they would do with the money as far as building goes if they got it awarded to them.
Right. Come October, City Council will be held at the Springfield Regional Police Fire Training Center. That's because renovations are going to start at historic City Hall. So, if you go to City Council meetings, and there, you'd be maybe surprised at how many people go. And because Sarah's covered City Council meetings for years, and I've covered them for years, and it's usually the same cast of characters at the City Councils. Sometimes there's a big issue that gets people.
I was about to say it's issue driven, so it's just crazy if there's a big issue that is divisive. Like a lot of times, it's like the not in my backyard type crowd.
Zoning issues.
Yeah, zoning, which those are going to be there too. So, and hey, you know what? Good on them. That's why we have This Is America. I like it.
But normally when there's nothing major going on, you count on seeing the same people at the City Council meetings.
Yes,
they go. And they're heard every week.
I love that, though. I mean, it's what makes us a democracy. So it's a beautiful thing.
Good for them. They're exercising their rights. Public meetings will be live streamed at cityview.springfieldmo.gov and on the city's Facebook page. That's probably easier to get to. Both council and planning and zoning meetings will be there at their normal times. Again, not at Historic City Hall, but at the Springfield Regional Police Fire Training Center. And that starts when? In October? Next month?
At the very beginning of October. I think October 2nd is the first meeting, and that is on Battlefield Road. So, all right, Aurora's new Mercy Clinic is up and running with more space. Mercy leaders say it was needed because the Aurora Clinic also sees people from the surrounding areas like Cassville, Mount Vernon, etc. So the clinic is on the south side of the Mercy Hospital Aurora, where the former clinic was, but now with more room and more providers. It has family medicine and obstetrics. So they've already opened. They just recently had a ribbon cutting, and they say people are coming. So
cool.
All right. If you love Mediterranean food, which Ethan and I have been to Israel a couple times now, and we're going back soon and very soon. So you're in luck if you like that kind of a diet. Springfield is going to get a new kebab shack, which is awesome. They're going to serve shawarmas, falafel, lots of hummus, all things Mediterranean. So it's set to open in November in Springfield, but we don't know the exact location yet.
Man, I love a good kebab, and I love myself a shawarma. What else do I
You would
love?
always get shawarmas, and I would get
and
falafel.
gyros. Correct. Yeah, I'm
Yep.
not a big falafel guy. I
I
do like a
really
shawarma.
enjoy the falafel. So,
Shawarma.
yeah.
I also like saying shawarma.
I think you just like to order it because you think you sound like a local.
I'm pretty sure I sound American. when I say one shawarma, please. Is that how you say it? Shawarma? Shawarma?
Anyway, if you have not ever had Mediterranean food, either come to Israel with us or go find an authentic place, and hopefully the kebab shack will hit the spot. We'll keep you posted when we know exactly where it will be opening up at. And yes, I know not to end a sentence in at. I can hear my grammar teacher right now saying, where is it between the A and the T? That's what she used to always say to me. All right, this is interesting because here's why this is interesting to me. I feel like this has always been a concern of mine. And then I tell myself, oh, it's unfounded, Sarah. That's an unfounded fear. And now it's happening. Apple is getting in trouble for the iPhone 12. Why? You ask? Because
another
some
conspiracy theory is true.
I feel like I have become a conspiracy theorist. I just need everybody to know that about me. So the model iPhone 12 specifically apparently emits too high of electromagnetic radiation levels.
You don't sleep with it by your head.
Yeah, exactly. So why is it the iPhone 12 and not the other models? I don't know. But apparently French regulators do certain tests to figure out what the level is of the electromagnetic radiation emissions. And they said that the iPhone 12 specifically was too high. So they are calling on Apple to either update the phone and fix it, like fix the bug, if you will, with an update, or recall the phone. Now, I should tell you that the agency that monitors it said, it's still lower than what is considered harmful to your health. However, the numbers are much higher than that watchdog group says that they should be.
Well, you never know in the moment the trouble it's causing. You always find out many years later that, we were wrong about that. So I'm not saying that's the case here, but I'm saying it likely could be the case.
Yeah. Anyway,
we'll all find out that our cell phones have been killing us this entire time.
Yeah. I have a friend actually,
but they're convenient.
Is smarter than both of us combined, and she's concerned about it, and so that kind of makes me concerned. But then I just like dismiss it, and then I read this story, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Anyway, not that I thought she was wrong, but here we are. I got my cell phone in my hand, literally as we speak. So, but the reason is a good reason, at least. I'm going to tell you about some weekend happenings because there are several. We've been mentioning them kind of like leading up, but now that we're at Friday, here we go. We told you about the St. Jude walk run happening at Hammond's Field tomorrow. Cider Days, which is in downtown Springfield on Saturday and Sunday. The Missouri Food Truck Fest.
That sounds fun.
We told you about that a couple weeks ago, but it is Saturday. So this weekend at the fairgrounds, the Food Truck Fest.
That's
Who
awesome.
doesn't love a good food truck? And then also the Ozark Mountain Daredevils and Friends concert. So you can find all the details and locations for everything happening at aroundtheozarks.com on the events calendar.
Yeah, they've got a great events calendar. I check it out at least once a week.
Yeah.
To find out what all's going on, where and when. It's cool.
Yes, it's good. They do. And by they, I mean, I think it's Taylor primarily, one of our coworkers. Yes, it's a great compilation of events, all sorts of things. So check it out, aroundtheozarks.com.
Lots of stuff at aroundtheozarks.com. You can get our podcast. You can get Abby Dyer's Wake Up Weather podcast, Ned Sports podcast. Lots of podcasts they have going on there. So you can check that out. It's kind of a one-stop shop.
All right. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. See ya.
We made it to Friday. Have a good weekend. And we hope to see you right back here Monday morning.
Bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Here's your host, Abby Dyer.
Hello there. Good morning and happy Friday to you. We are starting the day in the 50s. Once again, it feels nice and cool and crisp out there early this morning. And we are starting the day with clear skies. So sunshine to wake you up on this Friday. And I've got a whole lot more of that in the weekend forecast. Beautiful weekend shaping up for the Ozarks. If you don't already have some outdoor plans, might I suggest you make some? There is so much going on in the Ozarks this weekend, and the weather is just sure going to cooperate. So many activities to choose from. Just a few. We've got the Ozark Mountain Daredevils and Friends concert. If you're heading there, the weather won't get in your way. We have beautiful weather conditions, especially for the evening hours. Tomorrow, the St. Jude Walk and Run. Nice weather for anybody choosing to get out and participate there. Cider days, of course, big attraction, and I bet attendance is going to be up. And there's also the Missouri Food Truck Fest. So much going on. Also, I bet the trails, the parks, the lakes, the rivers, everywhere is going to be crowded this weekend because it's just going to be too nice to miss out on. So enjoy the beautiful weekend forecast. There's not a whole lot to detail in this weekend forecast. And that's nice for my job on a Friday. Great weekend ahead, though. And I will let you know that the temperature today, I think it stays in the 70s in most areas. I'm going 79 for the high temperature in Springfield today. Whole lot of sunshine in the forecast, but these high temps, they're going to stay either side of 80 degrees, not just today, also on Saturday and also on Sunday. We have some really beautiful weather heading our direction. Not a whole lot happening in the surface map. There's a cold front that's going to be isolated well up to our north. It passes through for us in the Ozarks, but our air is so dry. I've been mentioning this teeny tiny little chance for some sprinkles tomorrow morning. Still possible on Saturday morning with about a 15 to 20% chance for a shower. It is not going to be widespread. So don't be discouraged if you get a little bit of rain early tomorrow. It's not going to wash you out all weekend. It is associated with that front, though, that's up to our north today. Dry days are ahead for most. Small chance for rain for the first half of Saturday morning through about noon. And then we're dry for the rest of Saturday afternoon. I have conditions that are going to be dry through the rest of the extended forecast too. Really, moisture is just low for us here in the middle part of the country, which is not great news in terms of the drought monitor because we're really starting to see those abnormally dry conditions and severe drought conditions now once again showing up in our northwest counties. Greene County now shaded in the yellow, which means abnormally dry on the drought map. And it's basically along the I-44 corridor and north. That's where we're seeing the dry conditions, the drought conditions. Northern Arkansas is doing okay. Extreme southern Missouri is doing okay. But we would like a little bit of a rain shower. It's just not coming here in the next 5 days. The end of the month, by the way, is also looking rather warm. So if you have a swimming pool or your neighborhood swimming pool is still open, keep it open through the end of September. I mean, these cold nights are going to cool that water down, definitely, if you don't have a heater. But by the afternoon, it's warm enough to get in. 80s, sunshine. I think that's going to be the case through the end of September. I just looked at the Climate Prediction Center long-range outlook too, and their forecast kind of verifies with that, showing above normal temperatures, below normal precipitation expected in a period between September 21st through the 27th. So it looks like the end of the month is going to be pretty inactive here for us in the middle part of the country as well. 79 degrees, though, that high temperature for you today. We've got an east breeze in the forecast. Nice, 5 to 10 miles an hour. No rain out there for you today. I am keeping this slight chance for rain in the forecast early in the day on Saturday. I've already said it. It's not a great chance for showers, but isolated activity can't be ruled out for early tomorrow. And then I think that's it for the weekend. High temps a little bit warmer on Sunday. I have a number that gets closer to 81 degrees, but beautiful conditions. Whole lot of sunshine out there on Sunday too. And then next week is shaping up to be pretty nice. Low 80s will stick around. I think Tuesday of next week might be a little bit warmer at 85 degrees, but overall things are looking good for us for the weekend forecast. Around the country, the big headlines are that New England is bracing for Hurricane Lee to finally make impact. It seems like I've been talking about that for like 2 weeks now. It's finally on its way. We are talking about some dangerous surf and rip currents there, as well as high winds. Tropical storm warnings will likely be in effect. So that'll be in the headlines over the weekend for New England. For much of the country too, ragweed season is back. Many of you, I don't need to tell you that, Your nose has already told you, but just know that the numbers are high, and without rain in our forecast, we're not going to be able to get some of that out of the air. So if you are an allergy sufferer, just a heads up to you. All right, it is time for the Friday Wake Up Weather Brain Twister question. This one kind of fun. Yesterday's question, this is what I left you with. Cherophobia is the irrational fear of what? And the options were A, fruit, B, children, C, singing, or D, having fun. I hope nobody has this because it is D, having fun. That would be awful to have an irrational fear of having fun. What a terrible, terrible thing to happen to you. The root words there, if you knew this one, you probably knew some of the origins of this word. So this originated from the Greek term, I think this is pronounced Cairo or Cairo, Chairo. It means to rejoice, and it is the aversion or the fear of happiness, so the fear of having fun. That would be a real bummer. Let's hope nobody has a fear of having fun this weekend. All right, I'll leave you with the weather quiz question for Monday. This one, 50-50 shot here. True or false? In ancient Rome, women also fought as gladiators. Do you think that is true or false? Let me know what you think over on the Around the Ozarks Facebook page. Hey, speaking of the Facebook page, we did have kind of a fun question come up saying if you have any questions about the weather or forecasting, a specific event, or just kind of a, hey, why does this happen? You could email us and let us know. And somebody wrote in a question. So I'll answer that now. This came in from the Around the Ozarks Facebook page, and someone asked, what weather conditions produce pretty fall foliage? And the answer is actually, leaves turn because of the loss of daylight, not necessarily because of the weather conditions. So drought conditions, things like that can affect the color or how vibrant some of the colors are. But that beautiful fall foliage is actually produced by the loss of daylight, the loss of chlorophyll that the tree experiences. That's what gets those beautiful golds and reds and oranges to come out. And we're getting close to that time of the year. I've seen a few leaves falling and turning already, and certainly these cool nights are going to help with that. And you've already noticed that it's getting darker a little bit earlier, so that process is sure to speed up. But if you have other questions, feel free to email me. You can do that at abby@aroundtheozarks.com. I would be happy to answer it on the podcast, so let me know what you would like to know. And I will talk to you next week. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. Make some outdoor plans. We will chat again early next week. And if you need weather information all day long, make sure you check out aroundtheozarks.com.